Well, hello everyone. Philosopher Stoner 666. Well, I'm at work. Haven't made a video in a while. I had a bit of a cold flu thing going on, and I think I might have developed a sinus infection. I got tons of mucus, and the medication that I usually take is sort of keeping it at bay. But yeah, I have a health problem. Definitely. Definitely. So yeah, I don't know how good of a video this is going to be, but whatever, and take a stab at it. Um, I want to do a little mini tiny amateur book review of this book. Alan Watts, The Book on the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are. Now, it's an older book. My dad gave it to me, and there's this thing here from my father. His name's Bill. Xmas 1973 to his grandmother. One thing I liked about this book, interesting little factoid in it, was that Japanese people in their society give them, they give their children a book on their wedding day. They leave it in the bedroom, and it's a book about how to have sex. So it sort of saves them the embarrassing conversation about talking about sex and all that sort of stuff. And it sort of gives them the whole lowdown, which I think is an interesting concept. So that's what this book is sort of intended to be. It's teaching you about the nature of life, knowing who you are, yourself, all that stuff. And then it essentially argues for Schrodinger's equation, which is essentially the idea that everything is everything. Now, Thomas Ligotti states the same thing, that everything is everything, except what he says is that everybody is nobody. And the point is that those phrases don't really say anything. They're hard to grasp. The point is your consciousness, your ego, your sense of self is largely an illusion. And again, I would have no argument against that. I think this guy makes there's a lot of valid points. There's a lot of kernels of corn in the shit, so to speak, of points that he makes that makes sense. But a few red flags for me. Let's see. Let me open this junk up here and have a look. Yes, the dedication to my children and grandchildren. So right away, big red flag for me. Even though he's essentially arguing something, it's a that I would agree with. I would agree that we need to get away from this whole ego sense of self delusion. We need to sort of reach a sort of ego death. But yeah, right away he's a natalist, so an instant red flag suspect for me. Again, I wouldn't argue too much that what he's saying is wrong. I wouldn't say that it's wrong. It's just that people don't play the doubt game fairly. Like, he wants to sort of argue that because your sense of self is largely an illusion, that you shouldn't have any fear, you shouldn't be that afraid of death or all the problems and sufferings inherent in life. That it's going to be over one day and you'll rejoin the cosmic order of things. And all these people, they like to use these spiritual concepts. It says here right on the back of the book, religion and philosophy. They like to use religion to sort of acclimate ourselves to our own mortality. And the thing is that none of these people have died yet. It's like they're saying, oh yeah, you have nothing to worry about. It's no big deal. Death is just a part of everything. It's the duality of life. You can't have life without death. You can't have black without white. That sort of thing. And yet these people haven't died yet. It's like they're selling something and they haven't played the game to the end. Like, who knows? I mean, we can't say for certain, but who knows? Death might be the most horrific, horrible thing imaginable, or it might be the supreme banality. Who knows, right? We can't say, but they want to say it to give life a pass, that you just continue playing this game, keep imposing it, keep having children, nothing to fear, nothing wrong here. And again, they don't play this doubt game fairly. It's a license. The doubt that they foster is this license that you can do anything you want, pretty much. Don't have to worry about it. oh yeah, suffering's not a big deal. Your ego is an illusion, so it's all just a big dream or something. And I'm sort of oversimplifying what he says, but this sort of shit just pisses me off. So it's like, on the one hand, I do agree the ego and the sense of self is largely an illusion. Yeah, I would agree with that. But at the same time, it's maybe necessary to reevaluate our values and the whole procreation thing. Just a thought. Anyway, that's not much of a review. This is one of the few books that I found it interesting enough that I'm going to reread it. And I would say to people, maybe keep an open mind. He does have a good writing style, and he makes a lot of interesting points and brings up a lot of interesting facts. So again, not total crap, but just I'm wary of these natalist cocksuckers, basically. So yeah, that's it, pretty much. Oh yeah, what else? Oh yes, it's Happy Thanksgiving! Yes, it's Thanksgiving weekend in Canada. We have our Thanksgiving at a time that actually makes more sense in October. The completion of the harvest, all that. The supply of food is great. The bountiful yields in the harvest. And then people get together as a family and celebrate and all that fun stuff. And it's all just supposed to be so charming and wonderful. I have none of that programming. My family is a dysfunctional mess. I want nothing to do with most of them. My mother's dead. My father is sick, and he's basically slowly dying. He's in really pretty bad shape, and I have no family. I remember my mom used to cook me a big fancy turkey dinner. And then after her meal, we'd go to my grandparents' place on my father's side, and we'd have another meal, not quite as good, but still a meal. And then it varied from year to year. It depended if my mother was speaking to my grandmother, who's now deceased, if they were getting along or not. But we would go, and I'd get a third dinner, and I'd get all this free shit. And it just made me think of how much I never deserved any of it. I had a sweet, kick-ass life compared to most people, and I never earned it or deserved any of it. And now, guess what I have? A big fat nothing. Yay! So no turkey dinner for me. No more of that. That's over. No more free meals for me. It's just something I've had to accept. Unless, of course, I make my own meal. But yeah, the whole holiday is basically bullshit. When you look at early American history of the pioneers, the people that sailed on the boat from the Mayflower, some of the early colonies, there's evidence in their history that the harvests were pretty bad, and they had to basically resort to cannibalism. And so the whole theme and fiction of the whole getting together at the Indians and everybody and the harvest and having the meal and all that, it's all very symbolic and an idealized conception. An idealized conception to sort of all the positive aspects together, and it's basically bullshit. I don't know many people or many families that get along and it's so wonderful and all this stuff. It's basically bullshit. So I would say happy Thanks for Nothing Day. Thanks for nothing. There, I got it off my chest. Yep, thanks for nothing. Yep, it's all a bunch of bullshit, and I get to be all lonely and grumpy and bah humbug. Humbuggery. Yeah, you can tell I'm going a little bit nuts. But anyways, yes, I just wanted to touch on those two subjects. Kind of a shitty book review, I know, but yeah, definitely give it a read, and yeah, I guess that's it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm not sure how to end it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, I guess that's enough of a video. Philosopher Stoner, not 666. Out.